Oh, Emma, 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 Emma.
Please welcome back Emma Willmann.
Oh, Emma.
You're Emma. Oh, okay, Emma.
Here we go. Let's get crazy.
Oh, Emma.
Hey, how you doing? How's it going? How are you? Thank you for being here. Another episode of Emma's Bunker. I just ate enough shrimp cocktail to qualify me to be an animal at SeaWorld. And I am thrilled. I love shrimp cocktail. I like the shrimp. I love the sauce. For me, it's all about the sauce. Whatever is a vehicle and complement for the sauce, I'm all about it. Let me know what your favorite sauce is. If you had to only pick one, email me, emmasbunker@gmail.com. Let me know. What's your favorite sauce? I don't know what mine is. Used to be tartar sauce. Now I don't know. Maybe shrimp cocktail. No, I know what it is. Frank's Red Hot. Ugh, it's so good. If you haven't tried Frank's Red Hot, it's a perfect mix. It's like hot sauce light. If you're a real hot sauce aficionado, in which case you're fucking cool. Hats off to you. Hot sauce. That's like layers of like interests right there. If you're a hot sauce aficionado, you're gonna be like pish posh to Frank's. But if you know, Frank's is good. Frank's just kind of goes with everything. You know, it's like the Cheesecake Factory of hot sauces. Whoa, is that a compliment? Just had a therapy session. It was interesting. Like with my therapist, not like with a friend where I was like, you're like, oh, it feels like therapeutic. No, like an actual therapy session. A therapy session with a therapist feels a lot less therapeutic than a therapy session with a friend, if I'm actually being honest. Because I mean, are any of you guys in therapy now during quarantine? It's an interesting thing because it's like you're getting to the root of stuff because no new things are really popping up, you know? I've oddly enough started like recreating the same things that stress me out in quarantine out of quarantine. Like I'm just like, you know, I've sectioned off this room in the apartment where I'm doing work, and I'm like doing all these like different things. Like I'm in this room now, like all the time, just doing work. And yesterday, so I had an audition yesterday with a sex scene in it. And a sex scene, usually when you do an audition, you have to have someone pretend to be the part you're not auditioning for, so you can read the part you are auditioning for, so then people can like see whether or not you're good for that part. So the people I read with are either my friend Bill, it's my acting coach Bill, or my girlfriend's brother, and they're both great. But this particular scene involved a lesbian sex scene, so it's a little bit of an uncomfortable dynamic, especially for my girlfriend's brother and I. So Bill and I did it yesterday, and he's great. Straight guy, real broad shoulders, and you know he's like an actor, so he does everything he can to give me something to work with. But it was just cracking me up looking at his face, having to pretend it was a lesbian sex scene, and I felt uncomfortable, guys. When I was working on it, it was just a very vulnerable scene, but it was interesting because man, I gotta tell you, the people in the apartment next to us, they must think I'm a lunatic. I'm over here doing these weird ass auditions, like a lesbian sex scene the other day. It was a murder thing, and then in between that, I'm podcasting, doing my thing, being on other people's podcasts, laughing, yelling, and then at night I watch true crime. It's not a bad life. I hope that I give you a little bit of a break from whatever you're doing if you need one. Yeah. Okay. So today I talked to Chaunté Wayans. Chaunté has been on She Ready, Tiffany Haddish Presents on Netflix, Wild and Out, bunch of TV stuff. We first met in New York years ago. Oh my God, so long ago. This room in New York, there's a club called Broadway Comedy Club, and there was a side room they had. And I met her. She was performing at the side room. She did this funny ass joke about... It's a funny joke. It was about like a butch woman that was so butch she didn't want to admit when she was getting her period. So like every month she'd be hobbling around like I got shot. And you'd be like, what's going on? I'm like, no, it's not my period. I got shot. She tells it much better, but that's kind of the gist of it. It's a funny joke. But we've known each other on and off through years. And here's something I like about her, Chaunté, so much. She's like a more masculine presenting lesbian, gay woman, you know, confident. But she's not a condescending prick. Quite the opposite. Because here's the thing. A lot of times people, whenever they feel like they're competition with one another, sometimes this friend of mine Becca, she says that when lesbians of this persuasion or queer people of this persuasion, and yeah, I know I'm probably being problematic, being problematic. Cancel me. Come and get it. I'm just trying to communicate. I'm gonna paraphrase how it was phrased at the time for fucking talking purposes, okay? Sometimes more masculine women, she was saying, they ruffle their feathers at each other. You know, there's like these two female comedians, one of which who took my goddamn chicken wing. I'll tell that story in another episode. I was eating chicken wings, she took one. They're all like, what's up, real condescending and prick-like. I'm friendly. Hey, how you doing? Good to meet you. But then if someone comes at me like, huh? What do you got going on? Then I don't like that. And then I pull back. So Chaunté, quite the opposite. Meet her, hey, how you doing? Ever since then, we stayed in touch. What's up? And I can't even tell you how much I appreciate, you know, having her around in the comedy scene. We always talk about where we're at with drinking or not drinking, and I can't even tell you the amount of respect I have for her openness about her journey with that. Because sometimes she'll say, I got this amount of time. Sometimes she'll say, I got a couple days. But that's such a beautiful couple days sober. That's so brave to put yourself out there with that. Because when I would be, I got a couple days or I don't, and someone asked me if I only hadn't been drinking for a couple days again, I'd be like, I don't want to talk about it. Because I hated saying, I haven't been drinking again for a couple days, you know? So, like, that's fucking hats off to her. Okay. She's funny. Check her out on Netflix. Check her out on Instagram. Here she is, Chaunté Wayans. And thank you for being here.
How you doing, buddy?
Kind of sexy right there.
Say it again.
Your background's kind of sexy right there.
You know what it is?
What is it?
My girlfriend's brother is an IT guy, and he like did this little like blur thing. And now every time I do something, I'm like, do the blur. Like I don't want to not have the blur.
Do the blur.
Because people are like, oh wait, hey, that looks kind of. So I'm like, do it.
Blur.
Make me blurred. It makes me look like looks mystical kind of.
That's so funny.
How are you holding up?
I'm good, man. I started doing Postmates again today.
What do you mean?
Postmates, the delivery service.
You started doing it?
Yeah, I've been
good
doing it,
for you.
I started doing it again today, and it's actually really good.
That's what's up. I can't even tell you how much I respect that.
Yeah, it's like low key, like trying to work in one of my jokes, but they. No, and I'm only saying this because literally today I went to a bagel shop. And
you can do a joke about it and not have to actually do the thing.
No, but you don't understand.
Okay, let's hear it.
I have to go do Postmates just to get jokes because
I
went and did a Postmate today at the bagel spot. And this white dude, he goes, what are you doing? Is it DoorDash? I said, no, I'm doing Postmates. And I had on my mask and I had on gloves. And he was like, thank you for your service. And I was like, we were never heroes. We were slaves before the coronavirus. And now delivery people are now.
Yes, sir. That's amazing.
Like heroes.
I respect that so much that you're doing that, though. It's like, that's such a good way to, that's like, be proactive but it is kind of, you aren't scared about getting the Rona?
No, and the crazy thing is, it's not that I don't think it's real. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people who lost somebody and, you know, are dealing with people that are in the hospital or them themselves have been sick. So
right.
It's not that I don't think it's real. But for some reason, I felt like I lived through death so many times. Yeah, and that's it's kind of the hardest thing to say. It's like I started Postmates 2 days ago again.
Yeah.
And I go to Gelson's, which is a supermarket.
A great one. That's one of my favorite things about LA is actually Gelson's and the supermarkets. Because in New York, I don't have any. There was no grocery stores
like that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what's messed up about this entire story is that I get there. I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. It's popping. Like people want their Starbucks. They want their eggs and bacon. I mean,
why is everyone getting up so early in quarantine? Why don't they take a minute?
because everybody's sleeping all
Right.
day, every day. So people are up literally. I can open up my app at 3:00 in the morning and it looks like it's
Bing, bing,
freaking
bing, bing, bing.
Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like go to sleep. But everybody has such weird schedules now that they're
Right.
just up. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to do any of this. So I get up at 6 and I go do this this delivery. And so dang, what I was gonna say. My whole mind just blanked
You go
out.
do the Postmates, thank you for your service. You go do the delivery.
Dang. Yeah, I go do this.
Your second or third day back doing it. You're doing it to get material.
Yeah. No. First day going back to doing it, and I go
6
do this
a.m.
6 a.m. I know. I'm trying to. Damn.
I do that all the time.
It was such a real story though. It's like I'm so mad I can't do it because I was trying to say.
Did someone say something?
No, the thing about the delivery I was talking about is you have I forget it.
Well,
Anyway,
I think that's cool. I think that's cool that you're doing it.
I got it. So Gelson's, this is what's messed up. When you go deliver something, you're doing Postmates, right?
Right.
They give you it started off as $4, then it went down to like $3, and sometimes you can get less, right?
So they can get away with, that's per delivery.
Per delivery. So what happens is the reason why you get less is it started off where you can only do one delivery at a time.
Okay.
Then, so it'd be like you order something. I would have to go pick up your thing, drop it off, and then the delivery somebody else already ordered, I would get it after.
Right.
Now they do it then they started doing it to where I go get your food, and then somebody else could order something next door or down the street.
Fucking
now,
sweet.
Right. Now I have you and that person, and then I might have to drop it off to the other person first, even though you delivered first. And then I drop it off to you, but now my delivery is only $5, which each ride would have been $4. You get
no
what I'm
one's
saying?
ever going to do something just 100% to help out the worker.
Right.
There's always going to be some cut.
Right. It's always going to be a cut. So the thing that pissed me off was I went, I got up 6 o'clock. I go towards my way. It's 7 o'clock now, right? Gelson's opens and I get a delivery.
And do you drink a lot of coffee? Like, how are you in the morning?
No, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I'm at that age where coffee and tea affects me very quickly.
Me too.
In a matter of hours.
Oh, huh.
So if I go try to do that and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do 7 hours of Postmates.
Right.
I'm like, it turns out to where I'm like, I'm gonna do 20 minutes of Postmates. I got 2 rides in me and I gotta go back.
Because you crash?
No.
Because you're just like, I don't want to do it?
It flushes me out.
Oh, I got you.
And now during the coronavirus, I didn't want to be nasty, but
right.
during the coronavirus.
Not trying to go in the spare bathrooms. Yeah, it does that with me too.
They don't even let you go to the bathroom now.
Right.
So
you're up and you're not super caffeinated. I was trying to set the scene in my brain.
Yeah, I was trying not to go like.
Oh, I got you. I have like a problem with that.
I just kept digging.
I got
a great detective.
Well, I have a problem. But pause. But I had a problem with that. I had like stomach. I had like an irritable bowel situation. Not that that's what your thing is at all, but that's what I had. So I wasn't even. I thought you just meant that the caffeine affected you really quickly, and I was like, me too. But
no, you just kept digging. You were trying to get the Me Too thing, and I was like, shush. You don't want to hear this. But also coffee doesn't work for me the same.
Okay, it doesn't make you get all. Caffeine, so you're just up.
No, I will crash, but it also makes me do the other thing.
Right, other thing.
So
you're up 7 a.m. getting there.
Long story short, I get there to Gelson's. The order is $140. It's 2 wines. 7 o'clock in the morning. They order a bottle of red wine, a bottle of white wine, and 2 packs of cigarettes.
And you never get a percentage of the order, right? It only matters per delivery?
No, but hear me out. $140 for just 4 items. I'm walking in. I see there's one person that's waiting for the store to open, I think. I walk up. That means if it's $140, I'm almost guaranteed a $20 to $30 tip.
Right.
So I walk
Okay.
up. Now the delivery might just be like maybe $4, right? 4, 5, depending on how far it is. It could be 8 to 10. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then you're getting a tip. That's what you're counting on. I walk up, one Asian lady. No, there's no customers in the store but the cashiers and the manager. Go up, one Asian lady with a mask on. I got my mask on. I walk up. The guy comes out and he goes, only senior citizens from 7 to 8 in the morning. After 8, then you can come in. It's one freaking senior citizen, one customer. That's
So you're
all.
like, you're just talking to me then, buddy.
She shouldn't even be there.
Right. She should be using
She shouldn't even
Postmates.
And what if there was a senior citizen that needed her American spirits and the bottles of wine?
Did he not let you shop?
I said it's a delivery. He was like, I'm sorry, not till 8 o'clock. So
You didn't get to do it?
I had to cancel a $30 tip
That sucks, man.
for one old Asian.
That motherfucker.
One old Asian.
One old lady. That sucks, man. Did you keep Postmating or were you like, I'm not, after this, I'm out?
No, low key, I was about to like wait there till 8 o'clock to try to see, but I called her and she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry."
No, I'm sorry, lady. It's hard out here.
Yeah, but it's working though. I mean, people are delivering, asking for deliveries a lot.
Also, it's probably good getting you out of the house for something that's productive and making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that feels good. How is not drinking?
It's not bad. I think being productive in that sense makes me better with not trying to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it gets you out of your head.
Yeah, but if I'm in the house, then I'm just screwed.
Well,
I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll Postmates myself.
Yeah, you're Postmating.
The liquor store.
You're spending all the Postmates money on another Postmates.
Right, and it's my Postmates.
Right, and they're like, give me that Postmates.
Right.
I love task-based activities because I can't overthink them. The happiest summer of my life was I was dishwashing at a restaurant, and it was like, here's a dirty dish, clean it. Anything that I can overthink, then I just drive myself nuts. So maybe I would I'm always trying to think of stuff I could, like little side hustles. Maybe I feel like if I did Postmates, though, I'd fuck it up. I feel like I'd get in a car accident.
You don't understand how fun it is, though.
Really?
It's really like funny and fun. It's like, you get people who are like racially profiled sometimes, and then you walk up and they treat you like they never experienced it.
Like it'll be like someone that you think they'll talk to you some way and then they don't, or you think something about them.
Hey, my people, or something like that, and they're like they don't even want to contact you, or you just get, I don't know, there's just so many deliveries that's funny. Like yesterday, a dude came out with like his socks off, no mask, no anything, but then their notes on the delivery were like, make sure you have a mask and gloves and shit.
Right. You're like, what about you, fuckface?
Yeah, like, I'm scared of you.
Right. He's coming, no mask. My girlfriend really wants to go to Louisiana. So we're supposed to drive to Louisiana. And the deal is neither of us will get out of the car except for to get gas. But we're supposed to drive tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Well, where are you coming from?
We'd be leaving from LA to go to Louisiana. And I know we were talking about this when I think we were talking about this on your Instagram. I don't remember, or if it was another time, or I'm just thinking of it in my head. I'm not good at winning arguments with people that I date. So or I'm in a relationship with. So if someone really wants something, I can kind of like hold it off. And she's got good points. She has a house there. So she's like, we can be at the house. She rents it out. She's got maintenance work to do in the house. So then we can do something that'll add value to the house. But I'm scared. I don't want to go down and do it.
the crazy thing is, if you was coming from New York, you would be fine because they pump your gas for you. Like, they don't even want you to do it. But in
But you're not
LA,
allowed. If it was coming from New York, then we'd be like, then you're like,
right. But you need to find those states and go through it.
yeah, you're right, and get someone else to do it, and then
Yeah.
just look in the car and wave at them. Like,
Yeah, you're
don't.
like, I thought it was supposed to be a 4-hour trip. You're like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because we're gonna fucking like, we'll see. I'm glad that you're still not drinking though. Maybe Corona will be a good thing for like, maybe it'll be a good thing for that to take a pause from doing comedy too, to just get material.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard just because, you know, it's like, I mean, you know, it's like I've been in and out, and then it's like I started doing the AA and stuff like that, and then the Corona hit in. So now I feel like I don't have that.
You can go to online meetings. I did one the other day.
I know, but like I'm the addict because, you know, I got the DUI. So part of me is like, I have
do they
to
make
go.
you go? Don't you have? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. That's when they're like, sign your little thing at the beginning.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now I'm gonna be taking face shots of the online meeting or recording it so I can show them I've been there for the whole hour. You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't want to be there for that. Like
I get
what
that.
I like is, it's almost like I like going there to hear the speaker, hearing a little bit more, passing out, you know, my donations, and then leaving.
Oh, I never talk.
Yeah, I mean, I talk. I like talking sometimes, but it depends. Like if somebody's good or they made me feel some way, I'm gonna announce that.
When was your first drink? Like, what was the situation with that? Because I was in 8th grade, and I just remember right away being like, I love this. I never want to be sober.
Wow. I think first drink, I mean, like, you know, we used to have New Year's, and my mom would let me like sip her champagne. So that was nothing to me.
How young? Like elementary school or?
No, probably like 13, 14. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy because it wasn't really an issue to me. And then I remember, so this is what's crazy because it's like a kind of loop around. So it's like,
I really relate to to loop around.
Yeah, it's like it was like so much attached to it that I can't even believe that that's when I became an alcoholic. But part of it was 15, 15 I think was the day I knew this girl. I had a best friend since I was in like middle school, probably younger, and we used to hang out. We used to it sounds weird, but we used to link up with dudes or whatever here and there, but she was older than me, right? And so I used to hang around. I used to be the third wheel, whatever. So I remember
I was the third wheel too.
Yeah.
Because my friends would always have boyfriends, and I'd be like, and I'm like the
you're there, and sometimes you'll get a boyfriend, but I was never the friend to be having sex with dudes.
Me too.
At best, I was getting head. Like I was
right.
with getting head. But
did you know you were gay to you?
I knew I was sexual.
Okay.
I knew I was sexual, but not sexual. I knew I didn't have to be a hoe. I literally knew that. Like, I used to like getting head, but I felt like on a dude level, I felt like, yeah, these dudes giving me head. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
But all my friends were like screwing in the basement.
Right.
Like in raunchy parts of the hood. Like, you're not even, there's no respect. And then certain friends that have boyfriends of mine, their boyfriends would want to get with me because I was never that girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I always had the guy relationships. I've always had relationships where they always liked me. You know, it's never like, oh, disrespect Chaunté, blah, blah, blah. I just always had great relationships.
That's good.
Yeah. So I remember not dating this girl, but we were best friends. I remember one night going to sleep, and it was like late at night, and one day we kissed. And that was the end of the night. And then 3 years later passed by. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a kiss.
And were you guys drunk or sober when you kissed?
Sober.
Oh, wow.
Sober. No, sober. For about, I was about 11, And then 3 years passed by. We like literally fell out of touch. And then 3 years passed by, and somehow she got my number, and she left me a message. This is when you couldn't leave it on the phone.
Right.
She left a message with my mom and was like,
oh my God,
call
remember
me.
that? And then anyone can listen to it in the house. It's like,
Yeah.
beep, and they have to call the home, and then it's like,
Right.
I'm not calling for, I'm not calling for that. I'm calling, this is a call for, yeah. And then your mom hears
Like,
it.
I miss licking your pussy. Please call me back. You're like, wait, whoa.
Yeah, Mom, Sprint has gone off the rails with the fucking calls. I literally that gave me like a memories of hearing my dad play, not that specifically, but yeah, when they have to leave it on your parents, or if they call and ask if you're home, like, I'm calling for my friend, are they there? And then I remember that. So she calls, leaves you a message.
But nobody knew I was gay, because you know, that was also the 80s, 90s. That was the 90s by that time. That's when Aaliyah and Queen Latifah was popping.
Right.
So you didn't have the burden of like having to really look feminine.
Right.
You just had to look feminine enough. Like if you had straight hair,
ladies first with the shoulder things would be Becky by any standard. Even now, it would be like, oh wow, like that's androgynous. Like by any timeline, that was a very like Mac Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't there girls dancing around her in the video? Do you see the video?
It was all that. Even when, you know, her last video was like all these chicks.
It's called Ladies First.
Yeah, it was everything. Everything started looking really studdish at a certain point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Ladies First. That's when MC Light was out. You know, then the Brat.
Is MC Light gay?
Listen.
Right.
I'm not gonna speak on anybody's life, but what I'm gonna say is, if you look back in the day and you look how much they had to change to now, you know what I mean? Nobody really could be themselves, but when they were themselves, they were at their best. So that's what I can say. I'm like, MC Light, I remember rocking to her when she was like, you know, she was doing, what was her song? I need a roughneck, gotta get a roughneck. Right. She was so hard with wanting a dude. It was like, do you really want to do?
Right.
So I want to do with an attitude. I was like, calm down.
yeah. That seems like
put the gun down. Put the gun down.
Yeah. I'm trying to get some dick. And
right. I want to do it. You're like,
it's not that hard to get a guy. Calm down.
Not at all, but that's how those chicks were back in the day.
Right.
It was so hardcore trying to be feminine, but thinking that I don't know what it was. So
so you and her kissed. You and your friend kissed.
We kissed. I'm skipping the 3 years later because that's kind of how it felt. We kissed. 4 years later, I get a message and it's like, I need to talk to you. You know what it's about. Call me. Now, mind you, I was head over heels over this girl. I was like, oh my God. For the past 4 years, she realized that it was her and me. She knew, I knew this. I knew, you know, I'm ready to come out to my family.
Why hadn't you guys talked in that 3 or 4 years?
Well, one, she was straight.
Okay.
And we never talked about feelings or, you know, any of that.
You just have the kiss and then separate ways.
We kiss and then because basically our parents moved to different places, and you know, it just started to die down, which was fine. But it was already weird after we kissed. You know, it was like we kissed and it was just like, shoot.
Right.
Are you making breakfast?
Right.
You know. So it just got really weird, but you know, we used to also like go get dudes together, and I mean, we're
confusing
like,
time.
Yeah. So when she hit me, she was like, "Yo, you know," I was just like, "Man, this is it. I know this is the dream girl." Blah blah blah. So she goes, I got in contact with her, and she goes, "I'm gonna come pick you up. Got a surprise for you." Cool.
Great.
I go through my stepdad's closet. I pull out his baggiest clothes.
Aww.
I'm about to kill it with her right now, Emma. I was like, yo, can I come out like this? or
Right.
should I come out like this? Like, should I?
You should do a joke about that. That
like,
the little baby fashion
the
decision
baby
making.
stud? Should I show?
Should I be
part
like,
of my
"What's
ass
up?" or be like,
all
"What's
my
up?"
ass? It's just, I was trying to be so hard, and she came, knocked on my door, and when I opened the door, you know, I was mad cocky, and then
Right.
she hugged me, all that stuff, and then she turns around to point at the car she drove up in. So the car had this stud in the back seat.
Okay. Who's
Wasn't
this
even that
motherfucker?
attractive.
Okay.
Just a stud. It was like a stud with like pink pigtails. Like, we really didn't know how to be studs back in the day. We were so fucking confused.
Or they couldn't, or either that, or they were just like the hardest of the hard. Because I could see someone being like the scariest. It wasn't
No,
that. It was just a
wasn't.
confusion.
It wasn't a
Okay.
Crip or a Blood.
Okay.
Stud.
Okay.
It was a stud that was trying to hide from her mom with barrettes.
Got it. Got it.
Remember the ponytail?
Absolutely.
The
Yep.
ball?
How could I ever forget? How could I ever forget?
It's like, I want to show you a picture of what she looked like, but she literally had, you know, pigtails, a little blush on her cheeks,
Right.
and baggy clothes. And so I see her in the back, and then I see this chick who looked like the father from American Pie. She had these like thick ass eyebrows on, and she was sitting in the front seat. She just had this like, you know, kind of thing right here, and she had money, or her parents had money. She was just very nice, but also whatever.
So you knew those girls. You knew the other girls in the car.
I didn't know neither one of them.
Okay. Okay.
I'm telling you this backstory
Yeah.
for a reason. So we go to the car. I get to the car. I'm thinking I'm getting in the backseat with her. Then I see the stud with the pigtails. And she goes, "Oh, get in the front." So now I'm in the front with freaking eyebrows. And she's making these jokes like they're giving her directions like, "Go straight." She's like, "I'm so gay, I can't go straight." So she's like doing all these jokes. Long story short, we get to this place and we're like in a parking lot, and we go outside and like I think I want to say we like started smoking or some shit like that, like maybe a Black and Mild or something. And so my friend, her name was Khadidra, so we called her D. So
That's a
she
pretty
pulls
name,
me aside and she goes, "Let me tell you, this is what I wanted to tell you, but after we kiss, I realized that, you know, I might feel something for females, and then this is the girl I'm in love with." So
God damn it! Fuck.
The girl she's in love with is pigtails.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm just hurt, and I'm in the front with eyebrows, and so we go to Eyebrows' house, and they have liquor. They're all older than me.
Do you think any part of the girl that you kissed knew that you liked her though?
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think there's women who might feel something, and they know how to get under your skin.
Sure. It was also a little bit maybe of a flirt, even to be like, just so you know, I'm gay. Where are you at? This is my girlfriend. Just this is the type of girl I like.
Yeah, but she might not even be gay. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're just trying to. You don't know what you want to be,
Right.
but you. The reason why she contacted me was because you needed to feel validated with somebody.
Right.
It's like you can have a girlfriend, but come on, Emma, if you don't have a friend that you've been like, "Yo,
Right.
I just ate a girl out."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes it real.
Yeah, you want somebody who's like you can connect with and talk to.
Right.
And so I think that's what it was, because she was trying to find me as a friend.
Right.
But I'm like, bitch, I fell in love with you fairy tale wise.
Right.
After you kissed me.
You're trying to put pigtails in your hair while she's telling you about
Right.
the other
I'm
girl.
like,
You're taking the girl's pigtails. You're like, yeah. Hey,
right.
Chaunté, my hair out.
They're just like branches though, because that's all we were by. I'm like, no, you know, I get everything you saying, But no, so after that, she tells me she's in love with somebody else who's not as attractive as me. And I'm gonna say that because it was fucking true. And hands down, it wasn't cool. So we go to the eyebrows house. Her parents are out of town. But before we go to eyebrows house, we pick up the girl that D fell in love with. We go pick up her cousin.
Okay.
So we go pick up her cousin. They all get liquor. And at this time, we go to her house. I don't know anything about liquor. Only
Were you
thing
scared?
No.
Excited?
I felt uncomfortable because again, I was working up this whole from the time I heard the message on the answer machine, I was like, I knew it. She want me. She want me. We're gonna get married, live happily ever after. We're gonna figure out a way to have kids.
That high school hope.
I was planning my entire life, but you know what I'm saying? I've had that hope with dudes and I can never imagine it that way.
Right.
So I was thinking about, yeah, I'm gonna do this for her and I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. And I show up and she's telling me she's in love with somebody else.
Hormones.
So get to this girl's house. Now we got the cousin. So it's 5 of us, right? So I remember my mother making a drink. So I go, I'm gonna make me a drink. Everybody's sitting here, they're making drinks. They doing what they doing. So I was like, I know how to make liquor. I'm gonna do that. So all I remember was I got one of them tall glasses, like a little bigger than this.
Did they know it was your first time drinking?
First time. I don't think they didn't know. It was just me being like, oh, I can pour myself a drink.
I was gonna say, especially not if you said, "Let me make myself a drink." That's not what someone.
No, I got this.
Yeah,
I've seen it from the professionals.
Right.
My mom's.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
I got this. So you got a dark drink, that's Coca-Cola, and you got vodka. Got
Done.
it.
Yep.
Good. Big ass glass of cup. Put some ice in it. Poured. Okay, let's say the glass is this big, right?
Yeah, a couple inches.
I poured the liquor to probably here.
Okay, so most of the glass, like 80%.
Glass is here.
90%.
I poured the liquor. And then I put the Coca-Cola. I just needed to make it dark.
Right, you just wanted a splash.
Accomplished, okay? One drink, Emma. Grab my drink.
I feel like I can picture someone throwing up after this.
Emma, not only did I, listen, parents out of town. That's why we went to Eyebrow's house.
Right.
Rich family, having a good time.
Yeah.
Just playing freaking all the ecstasy music. We're having the time of our lives. So I'm drinking that cup and I'm sipping on it. And I'm like, I don't feel anything. Everybody else is having a great time. And I don't feel it. So I just downed that cup. I'm sitting there and I'm like this. Next thing I know, I feel whoosh. And I'm like, hey. The room starts spinning. Next thing I know, I wake up in my throw up and I see the cousin that we picked up last picking up my throw up. And Eyebrows is in my face going, my fucking couch costs more than your life. She's like, I'm getting so much freaking trouble. She's so mad. My sneakers are outside. Long story short, I wound up getting with the girl who picked up my throw up. But
the cousin
Eyebrows was so mad at me. I can never go to her house again.
How did you pull up getting with the girl who after she picked up your throw up?
She picked up my throw up.
Like weeks later you got with her?
Who you want? No, it was like the next day or two. But it's like who gonna pick up your throw up that don't want to smash?
Right, true.
You gonna pick up my throw up and then don't want to get with me?
I guess if it was it'd either be a good friend or someone that you're really trying to impress.
None of that.
Did you remember feeling like, so you didn't feel like this is the best feeling ever? It was just like, ugh.
I remember going, it was almost like, this wasn't even out at that time, but it was like, waiting for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
It was like that. It was like, oh snap! Like, you know how you trying to be cool, but you feel it. You're like,
I know exactly what you mean.
How do I get out of it? How do I move from this room or go hide where they don't even? Because mind you, they're making drinks.
Right.
I'm on one drink,
which was probably stronger than any other drink because it was just vodka.
It was the entire bottle.
Whew.
It was damn near the entire bottle, Emma.
And then did you start drinking regularly after that? Because after the first time I drank, I was like, I want to drink all the time. And then I started drinking whenever I could get my little mitts on, whatever.
Man, we're going to have to do like an Oprah session.
I was babysitting and I would steal booze from the kids I babysat. Their parents, obviously. And I went and apologized years later. I was like, I want you to know I was doing that and I'm sorry. And they were like, we're glad you apologized.
That was one of your steps?
No, I never did that. But I like literally, this is when I got in trouble. I got in trouble in high school. My mom, actually, now that I kind of forgot about this, I got in trouble for something in high school. And then my mom was like, and another thing, it's like Mary Ely, who used to babysit for her kids, said that you used to steal alcohol from her. And I was like, ugh. And I was like, oh, can we apologize now that I'm on like a repentance thing? Because when you get in trouble big for one thing, so you're doing an apology, they're like, oh, that must have been why you screwed up that other thing. I was like, yes. Lumped it together because I was watering down the booze of the people whose kids I babysat. Woo.
Yeah.
Oops.
No, I wasn't there, but I didn't apologize. I never apologized. I think it didn't get bad for me until I moved to LA. I moved to LA. I was trying to figure myself out.
Where'd you move from again?
I moved from Jersey. I remember I should have I wish I would have went to one school and I didn't go, and I stayed around where I grew up at. And I feel like that was a really bad decision.
Why didn't you go to the school?
Probably. Okay, so I wanted to go to Rutgers.
Right.
Which was
great
in
school.
New Brunswick. New Brunswick had a really dope women's basketball team. I really wanted to go there. I applied for that. I applied for Seton Hall, and I applied for Howard University.
Great schools.
I got accepted to Seton Hall and Howard University, and not Rutgers. And I was so hurt by not getting accepted to Rutgers. I picked Seton Hall because it was close to where I live, and I didn't know much about Howard, nor did I even investigate. And
Where's Howard's in Atlanta?
Where's Howard? Don't make me look bad.
Oh, hold on.
I should know this more than you. Could we edit this out?
Absolutely.
No,
it's not. Both of us are.
We're both wrong.
Wait, I'll make a little note. I'll make a note and I'll re-ask.
You're gonna react? Okay,
it's in Washington D.C. So I'm gonna make a note. See what time it is, and then we'll have you.
Oh no, that's Howard. So no. You know what it was? Hampton.
Oh, Hampton. Okay.
I didn't apply for Howard. That's in D.C.
Yeah. So you applied for what were Rutgers, Hampton,
and Seton Hall.
Yeah.
I got accepted to Seton Hall and Hampton, and not Rutgers, and I was so mad because I really wanted to get on that basketball team. Yeah, mind you, it wasn't like I was the star or anything on the basketball team, or I was really working out towards that. But I wanted to go that direction.
Yeah, you like playing.
What's the best basketball team I can get on? Blah blah blah. To be able to do that.
Did you feel pressure because of your last name to did you feel like a sense of like you had to be doing something in a big way?
Not till I moved out to not till I started doing stand-up.
Oh, interesting.
Not till I moved out to California though.
Interesting.
Because even with working on production and stuff, people treated you a certain way. Right. Without even giving you a chance. And it's so weird. Like, it comes to a point where, you know how you know your worth? And there were certain jobs that it would be like, I would hit you up and be like, yo, Emma, I don't have to get paid from you or nothing. Can I just, work and intern and, share my ideas and work my way up just to prove that I don't think I'm better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then those are the times I get probably dissed the most. But
why? I would think that the name would help. Like, why?
Sometimes. but it helps when you can get the person. It's like,
Oh,
it's
I
like
see what
if
you're
I can be
saying.
like, Emma, your uncle, your
Right,
dad.
right, 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 right.
You
Like,
don't
well, how
want
the
to do
fuck do you think you're
you
gonna get to
don't
my
want to do
dad
a
if you're not?
podcast with your dad, Emma?
Right, 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 right. Oh my God, Jeff Willmann.
You don't want to do it with Jeff Willmann?
Right. That's not a good feeling.
I
then,
want
too.
you there. I
Right.
totally want. We're friends.
Right.
But could we have your dad
Right.
in it too?
That sucks.
That's literally like what my life was, and I think also I was very. I'm like introvert, but I also am open.
Me too. I'm an introverted extrovert.
Yeah. So it's like I know how to do certain things, but I also can't hide how I feel. And a lot of people don't mess with me because I think they feel like I'm not the industry person that's gonna make you feel good. Like if I feel angry, even bitter sometimes. I've been bitter.
Yeah.
And I think bitter not in a way where I'm not happy for you.
But who
But
has it?
bitter.
I don't know
Yeah.
one person who has it.
Yeah, but it's like, sometimes family, when you have family's always like, I'm gonna take care of you. It's like if you and me are best friends,
Right.
and we grew up together, I'm like, Emma, I got you. Don't trip.
Right.
When you're ready, you're ready. But then it might be somebody I meet on the side street, and I'm like, yo, you want to come work for me? I think you brilliant. I'm gonna come bring you and do this, and you're like, hey, hello, and you like, Emma,
Right. Right.
nigga, we grew up together. I got you. And so a lot of times I felt like I've always been taken care of, but it was like, how do I get outside of my family because they're always going to take care of me.
Right.
And then people are not going to respect that because it's like, you're not working for a car. You got a car because you graduated.
Right.
It's like, yeah, but I got to make the payments.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like nobody gets.
Also, what the fuck were you supposed to do?
A little bougie. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
still like.
And what are you supposed to? I wonder if it had been. I mean, comedy. I always am surprised when generations of people go into comedy because I think that would be the toughest one because stand-up's so fucking hard no matter what. Like stand-up is so hard, even if you take out people's expectations or people recognizing that you're related to somebody famous. Too.
Yeah, but they start like if you're funny, automatically they think, oh, they probably wrote all those jokes for her.
Oh, see, now that I didn't think
like,
of.
Just what? But the beauty is, here's the deal. The reason why I wanted to break free from my family was because it was more about the people who I was surrounded by. It was and I'm gonna mention his name. It was what's his name? I don't even remember his name. Lester. Remember Lester? Not John Lester. That's my boy.
I love John Lester.
Not John Lester.
I love John Lester has one of my favorite opening jokes. He's got some of my favorite jokes. He's one of my favorite opening jokes.
No, he's amazing.
I love John Lester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
he's
amazing. It was
Lester Holt on the news.
This how funny it is. The dude Lester I'm talking about, he did Bill Bellamy's Who Got Jokes,
right? And
got bombed. He was the worst. If you YouTube him, he's labeled as one of the worst.
Oh, I think I've seen this clip then. Because they named the clip where it's like, is this the worst comedian ever?
Yeah, it's literally like labeled that. And
okay. Ooh. Oh, wait a minute. No, not Dave Lester.
Dave Lester.
Oh, he's a nice guy. What a Dave Lester.
He wasn't to me.
Really?
He wasn't. So, and this is why I say he was. This is the type of stuff I was getting back. This is what I was getting back in the day, right?
Damn, Dave Lester, worst comedian ever.
You see it?
Yeah, I mean.
But listen, Emma.
Wow.
I remember him coming to do shows with my family when I first started, right?
Right.
And then I went to New York, and so my family would come into town. Everybody would treat me amazing. You want to get up? You want to do comic strip? You want to do the stand? Oh, I was doing all the spots. The minute they left, I couldn't get not one fuck. I couldn't even come into the club without paying.
Right.
So Dave Lester, I remember walking down the street with him. He's like taking me to different spots. I remember walking down the street with him, and I asked him, yo, he just helped me, like, open up, get some shows, blah, blah. He's like, oh, you think because you a fucking Wayans that I'ma just And I was like, what?
Right.
We were just hanging out, and it doesn't matter if I'm funny or not. Hey, do you mind? Can I open up? Can I do 2 minutes? Can I?
Right.
But you made me feel like we were cool like that. You made me
Right.
feel like you were showing me the ropes.
Yeah, I'm doing this based off
Really,
of.
you was just so mad that you've worked all these years and wasn't in a position to just get up on stage. I get that. But
Did
what
his
you don't
cadence?
understand is
Did the
I
cadence
can
change
also
quick?
probably help you later.
Right.
Huh?
Did his cadence change right away when you were asking, like, so how do I get on shows? Was it like a right away thing?
We were walking. I remember walking in New York City
Huh.
vividly. I couldn't tell you the streets, but I remember going from one club to another. And I was just like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to learn the ropes. Could you help me do this? And he said, you think because you a fucking Wayans, you think I'm a, and it was like his whole,
Damn.
he didn't even like say, you not funny, you ain't shit, like you got to learn the game, champ. You ain't say none of that. You think because you're a Wayans. And I will never forget those words because I wasn't even thinking that.
That's a very like conversation everybody's had a bunch of times where it's like, oh, I'm in this city, I want to do this. Hey, do you know anyone I can talk to about this, about that? That's like
Everybody does that.
Right.
And they'll go send me a clip, or
Right.
you think she funny, you gonna vouch.
Right.
I'm asking about open mics.
Right.
I'm asking about, how do I do the spot before the hosts go on?
Right.
How do I do that spot? How do I bomb? How do I
Right.
go bomb? Please
How
help
does
me
this
bomb.
how does this work?
Right.
I'm surprised by it. I'm surprised. You know what? That's about the person, not about you.
And I've had so many of those of people, who people say are cool as hell. There's a bunch of people I can name right now that you'll be like, no way, hell no, no way. Every person I name has treated me like, if you don't get out my face, you privileged ass.
You think that maybe they're resentful of your uncles, and then maybe that it's easier to take it out on you? Maybe.
Maybe.
Because that would
But
make more sense.
They
if
were on my uncle's levels. They were
Right.
like coming up too. You know what I'm saying? Or they've been doing it longer, but they didn't. But
people want something to be mad at and something to blame too.
Absolutely.
Like, but whenever I don't like someone, it's always based off of them as an individual, not what I think might be the truth about them. It'll be based off of if someone's like a condescending dick, and they're like that when I experience them. That's what I always base it off of. And then
I feel something, and I go, and everybody be like, Chaunté, like you paranoid, you this. I'm like, all right. 10 years later, you'll call me and be like, yo, Chaunté, remember when you told me? Hey, 10 years later, you had to see it for yourself. It's been 1 or 2 times that I've been wrong.
Have you had a premonition? I've had a premonitions about people where I'm like, there's something up with that person sexually. 2 out of the 3 times it came out that was true. I remember one of the times it was this guy, and he was big industry person at the time. I said, something's up with that guy. Something's up with that guy. And I was just in a industry setting, in a different one, and someone brought that person up. I go, hey, something's up with that guy sexually. And everyone went, which that was stupid of me to just throw out there, but everyone was like, oh my God, like da-da-da. Years later, I was talking to this girl, and she was like, well, my boyfriend's not working with these people anymore because we can't talk about it because there's going to be a lawsuit, but this guy like pushed himself on him and da-da-da. And I was like, I fucking knew. I was like, and I remember me and the guy I'm talking about, we got stuck talking to each other once. We were at a party, and the people I was with walked away. The people he was with walked away. We both turned and realized we were like kind of stuck, at least having to talk for like a minute. And we were both like, and the second we could each walk away, we did, but I knew. And then it was like 6 years later where I was like, which is a fucked up thing to feel vindicated about, but I was like, I fucking know.
No, because a lot of people, you might feel a certain tingling thing.
Yeah.
And this is the whole thing about like knowing who you are and yourself, is if you don't know those vibrations, or I don't care how weird it sounds, it never really denies you. It never goes against you. And
you haven't been
any
wrong
event,
yet.
it doesn't mean that that person can't change.
Right.
It doesn't mean like, they had a bad night, they were drinking. Anything could have happened to
Right.
change what that feeling was. But for the most part, if a person is consistent and I see something, it's almost like, you know how they say like it's like somebody look like an angel and they super sweet,
Sure.
and then the other person can see like right through their soul.
Yep.
Like the scariest shit, but I feel like I could see that through certain people.
Have you ever been on stage and felt an evilness from the crowd?
I would say that. I think that energy makes you feel like you don't really feel funny, or
I've had it where I was in Vegas one time and I said on stage, I said, I'm not going to do these other jokes because I feel that you are evil. And I was like, and I always put everything on myself, but I feel an evil, toxic sludge from you guys. And I'm not going to say anything, make fun of how I look anymore, do any more gay stuff. And I've had plenty of shows that don't go well, and I haven't said that. I've never said anything like that, but I was like, I feel evil in our midst. And I was like, there's some fucking devil worship at play here.
Yeah.
Please believe everyone in that audience was like looking at me like I was insane. But are you religious?
You feel it.
I feel it.
But especially in a Vegas situation, listen, when people are drinking, it depends if you were sober or not sober. And sometimes
I was sober, so I was more sensitive to it. If I was drunk, I wouldn't trust myself.
These guys all faded. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many energies that they're allowing in.
Right.
That I wouldn't even deny that. I don't feel like that's weird.
Oh, if I was drunk, I wouldn't. I would just be like, "Fucking Lucifer's here."
But
like I would have.
Drunk, you're really allowing it in. You know what I'm saying?
True. Your
At
walls
least
are
when
not.
you're sober, you're like kind of trying to fight it off, but you're like, "What is that?"
Right.
You know, when you're drunk, you're just like, is it wrong? Come on, devil.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
let's make a deal.
Come on, devil, get over here.
Are you religious? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
What?
Are you Are you religious?
I'm scared of religion and I'm spiritual.
Are your parents religious?
Not at all. My
Me neither.
grandfather is Jehovah's Witness, but I've always
very religious.
God, and I've always searched for, the truth. And I feel like in doing that, when you're uncertain, you're just uncertain. And I don't think, as much as people think they're right, I don't think they know they're right. So you have to force yourself to believe things and to believe specific things. And, sometimes anger and all this stuff comes out because if you think anything else, then you have to think something else.
Right. Then you have to start to question everything.
Yeah, you have to question everything. And so for me, I was that kid that was like, I go to Kingdom Hall and I'm like, oh, I love this. This is amazing. Oh, there was pagans. Oh, let me look up pagans. And they would go, no. Don't look at the pagan history. Look at our book based on pagans. And then you'd be like, this says Jehovah don't like pagans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Jehovah doesn't like fucking anything.
Yeah. So it's like, but you have to know that pagans was dope back in the day.
Right.
This was if you watch one of my favorite TV shows right now is The Vikings.
Never even heard of it.
Are you serious?
Never even heard of it.
Hulu, The Vikings.
Okay. Good. I need something to watch that's not fucking true crime. I'm losing it.
Okay, but here's the deal. Still a lot of crime.
Okay, that's okay.
8 seasons of it, I believe.
Woo!
The dope thing about it is you wind up catching somebody who believed in sorcery and somebody who believed in the Catholic God who meet somebody in the middle, and then they both question their religions. So, but when you start researching and looking at stuff, pagan was going to somebody, right, who probably had 15 eyeballs.
Right.
And there was these weird looking people, and they were the person you go lick their heads.
Right.
And then they'll tell you what God said or whoever the gods were, right, to say if he was going to die or not.
Right.
For whatever reason, it still worked in your favor. Catholics took this same idea. Instead, they made it about Jesus or God giving them the word.
Right.
They still dressed up in uniform or with these things, but you had to go through them to get the answer of God.
Right.
Same
All the
thing.
different middlemen.
It's all different middlemen, just a different and more sacred, or instead of gods, it's one God. So now
They
you
also
feel
make
you're
it,
more empowered.
and if it's something that you hold very dear, if someone questions it, you're like, you get defensive without thinking, maybe they're actually saying the same thing. Then they get pissed. Let me
Same
ask
thing.
you, I'm going to ask you a first date. Okay. Cause this is what I was trying to think about. Cause I was trying to remember first dates. What was your very first date? Do you remember it?
My very first date.
Very first date where it was like you were going out on that first date.
Gosh.
Or I can ask you a first date question.
Okay, I don't remember my first date, but I'll tell you the date I remember.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's a guy. It's a guy that I wish I was more intrigued with at the time.
Yeah, being gay is tough, man.
He was a really dope dude.
I know.
This is why I remember him.
Oh, I had a guy in high school I wish I was intrigued by.
No, he was weird, but he was weird. He wasn't the normal, like, we went to, like, we did JROTC together.
What's
And
JROTC? Oh, JR Junior.
Yeah, I remember him picking me up in his car, and we would go and we would like play pool or something like that. But he was the first person to put me on to Dave Matthews. And I fell in love with Dave Matthews.
Yep.
He was this Army guy. He's in the Air Force now. He's married to a girl. He got 2 kids. But I just remember how cool he was and all these things. And he was a Gemini. And we never even went there. But we were both looking at each other like, I know there's something really interesting about you. And he was like, I know there's something really interesting about you, but we're not going to say anything. Yeah. But first person to put me on Dave Matthews.
I had a date. This made me think of a guy I went on a date with, Danny, and he actually turned out to be gay. But I remember we took a walk or some high school date. But then I remember sitting in the car and we were both like looking at each other, and then we ended up just listening to music and nothing happened. But I remember thinking, like, if I, not acknowledging at the time, but if we were the right sexualities to match, then that would have been it
would have been huge.
Yeah, it would have been huge. But alas.
I was like with dudes listening to, like, I'm a 5-starter. Biscuit 5-starter.
They're like, do you want to make out? And you're like, I just want to sing the song. Where can people find you online?
Everything is at C. Wayans.
C. Wayans. And you're doing what's that?
The book I'm reading.
Oh my God. I never read a book. What the hell is that about? Ponies?
My girl's kid is reading this.
Oh, okay. I wasn't going to judge you.
Harmony, what is Wildwood Stables? I caught you.
I wasn't going to judge you. And Chaunté's you've got your podcast. You've got your podcast on Mondays?
Yes, and I'm going to send you the video. It's not going to be as cool and blurry as yours. But maybe I'll just blur us both out so they won't even see us.
Just 2 little smudges.
It was so much fun, Emma.
Thank you.
You were one of my favorites.
I appreciate that.
That was my conversation with Chaunté Wayans. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. All your audio engineering needs, if you're considering starting a podcast or anything you might need audio mixed for, and photography needs, please hit up my man Chris Thomas. You can get his contact in the description section of the podcast. Also, Mike Levin is helping me out with all the video. You want to see, I got this cool ass custom song from Suman Chattery. Shout outs to him. Please rate and review. Let me know if I should keep doing this when we get out of quarantine. I got some big ideas, so let me know. Email me, emmasbunker@gmail.com. We got a video of all the shows for free on YouTube. Go to emmacomedy.com, hit the YouTube link. Also, I got a number you can text me at on YouTube. I'm around.
Thank you for listening to Emma's Bunker. For a video of this episode, go to www.emmacomedy.com and click the YouTube link. Subscribe on iTunes so you don't miss bonus content, and look out for a new episode every Wednesday. Skeet, skeet. Skeet, skeet.